Wednesday, everybody. Bandwagon Wednesday around Raiderland. Glad you're ready to hang out with us on a Wednesday night. We got you here in the Arctic Air Studios. Call the bear. Call Arctic Air. If your air gets too Arctic during the winter season, you'll get us on the United Supermarkets text line tonight, 806-772-0197. If you're watching on X or on YouTube and our Facebook friends, you know what to do. Jump in. Let us know that the audio is good, the video is good, and then we get on down the road from there. All right, so yeah, you guys know pretty much the drill these days. You can share this, you can put it out there, you can invite friends in. We want to hear what you're thinking. We want to get your feedback. Tonight really is a show about your feedback, about your thoughts on Texas Tech and otherwise. All right, and otherwise, there's always otherwise. There's Bandwagon Wednesday. There's transfer portal. There's stuff like that. But really tonight, the question is going to be Texas Tech football 2 years into Joey McGuire. Are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? It's a question they ask in political campaigns all of the time. Are you better off today than 4 years ago? I think Ronald Reagan probably made that the linchpin in 1984 of his campaign there against Walter Mondale. So we'll ask you today, is Texas Tech football better today, 2 years in, than they were 2 years ago? Why or why not? Craig says the talking box is on. John says, hear you loud and clear. James is in. Alan is in. You guys are getting in on the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197 in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. You start your day there. We got all sorts of cool topics, Raiderland hot links. You get a chance to sound off. You never know what you're going to see. That's why you start your day at TheRaiderland.com. We archive everything we do there. Coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios tonight. We're brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza, Domino's.com. Get the app. $10.99 special tonight. Large pizzas, $10.99. Each $10.99. 2 large, $10.99. 3 large, $10.99. Hard to beat that. Also by South Plains College. Hey, the road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. It may begin in Levelland for many folks. Great Texans become great Red Raiders. They're now enrolling for the, sounds weird to say spring semester, but yeah, what we would call the spring semester. Check it out, South Plains College. Great sponsors of what we do. And I look at South Plains College and Texas Tech hand in hand. All right? Not a competition, hand in hand. Because I can't tell you how, I mean, some of the greatest Red Raiders and Lady Raiders you've ever known, that's where they started. You know? So we invite you to see if that's right. They've also got, adult education. I mean, we're not just talking kids out of high school. Cooking classes. I wonder if my wife would take a cooking class with me over there. You think she would sign off on that? Hello, Santa on the wall. That's right. Happy Santa. Happy Santa's back. I wonder if she would do a cooking class with me. I wonder if we would still be married if we did a cooking class together. I don't know. All right. And many of the shirts and other apparel you see us wear here on the broadcast, brought to you courtesy of Boot City. One money, save a mile outside the West Loop. Loop 289. Check it out. Great stuff. It's Christmas time. Got this one the other day. I really like this one. Pearl Snap, all the good stuff, everything about it. All right, so that's the question today. Bandwagons, you're on, you're off. Things you support, things you don't. So I'm fully on the no SEC team in the college football playoff if Georgia loses bandwagon. And I'm totally on the bandwagon of Texas folks right now that their spade card to play is that it was harder to beat Texas Tech, wait for it, than for Alabama to beat Auburn. And therefore, Alabama can't possibly get in because Texas Tech, a marginal rival, harder to beat. I love that bandwagon. I'm in on it. So it's Bandwagon Wednesday. And then the transfer portal. I can just end the transfer portal discussion with you tonight on this from a Tech standpoint. When you're a 6-win team, there's basically nobody other than Ben Roberts who that you would look at and go, don't get into the transfer portal. We can't live without you. Yeah, okay, that about sums that up. Alan did something up here. See, you guys, you get your comments in and all that stuff, and I miss it, and then I got to go back, and you type too much. Tech is on the right track. Joey has the same record after 2 seasons, 14-11, that Leach was. Year 3 needs to be 9 wins or more. Okay. The question tonight for you guys to weigh in on, there's no chance they leave the SEC champ out. Is there? Is there not? Yeah. I mean, if Alabama wins, they don't. Okay, if Alabama wins and Texas wins, then they're going to take Georgia out. So then you're telling me that Pac-12, who probably could get 2 teams in, doesn't get one in? Or the Big Ten doesn't get one in? Rethink what you're saying there, Ryan. Rethink what you're saying. Tech is better off wins in November, and the upgrade and recruiting proves that. So that's the question tonight. Is Texas Tech football better off today than they were 2 years ago? Why or why not? Because I've heard some people saying, they're just spinning the wheels, man. They were going to win 9 or 10 games this year, and they didn't do it. They're going backwards. It's just another year of crappy bowl. You are what your record says you are. You're a 6-win team. Okay. All right. So I pose the question tonight that you guys get a chance to sound off on. Are you better off today, Tech football, than you were 2 years ago? 2 Pac-12 teams more likely than Bama jumps in with a win. TCU made it last year with a loss, so Georgia's in. All right, so Georgia and then Alabama's in? Or Georgia is in and Alabama's not in? Because to say that, John, you're saying that Alabama, Georgia, and Texas would be in, right? And then there's one more and somebody's out. Bandwagon on lasagna, salad with ranch and garlic bread for dinner tonight. Rock on. That's fun. I was at the store today. I'm at the store every day. I need help. I'm at the store every day. Jerry, I'm at the store every day. And, I was going through the frozen section, and there was one of those, beautiful looking frozen lasagna things. Man, get that home. Could do that. I didn't do it. Doughboy checking in from Wentzville, Missouri. Good to see Doughboy, our resident trucker in Raiderland. Guns Up Trucking. Guns Up. Yeah, I was like thumbs up, guns up, Guns Up Trucking. Official trucker of Raiderland. Checking in. Good to see you out there. Wentzville, hold on. I got to get this right. Wentzville, Missouri. He's on the United Supermarkets text line where I was staring at frozen lasagna that I almost bought. What if Michigan loses 6-3 to Iowa? That's how they would lose, probably. That's the only way they. I think it would be like 3-2. No, 2-0. Iowa would have to win 2-0. Tired of being the Super Bowl for UT Austin. You're not going to have to go there anymore. And I think more and more fans are coming around to what I've been saying for the last year or so, that I really don't care if Tech ever plays Texas again in anything. And then and you go through these stages of acceptance. I get it. That some fans are like, okay, I don't want to play me football, but basketball and baseball. No. I really don't give a flying rolling donut if Texas Tech ever plays Texas in anything ever again. Why? You don't need it. They don't like you. It's not a rivalry deal. There are a lot of teams to play. You don't need them. That this is the great growing up time for Texas Tech. This whole 100-year centennial thing, which is 100-year centennial, that hopefully maybe some people are saying, hey, what if we stood on our own 2 feet and didn't define ourselves by who we played, but rather defined ourselves by that we play, and you don't worry about it. I think some people are coming around. I really do. We're better off today than we were 2 years ago. I remember the bowl drought. And we complained about that too. People complain about everything. Next time I want to play UT in anything is some sort of hell. some sort of postseason tournament or playoff. Yeah. Disappointed this year wasn't the leap forward, but they are light years ahead of where they were under Matt Wells. Matt Wells, a candidate for Oregon State, according to reports. No benefit in playing them in non-con. Absolutely, I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. No, I don't want to play them. I don't want to play them. They don't want to play you. I don't want to play them. Off the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197. That's what you use if you're on X. That's an app, not a drug. Or YouTube Live. Conference champs with equal or better records should always trump non-conference champs, but that not how it works in the SEC, SEC. All right, well, we'll find out. I root for chaos, I root for mayhem and everything else because it doesn't matter to Texas Tech at this point. So what the hell? But yeah, if Alabama wins, either Georgia's out, but Texas has got to be in if they win. Now, I would love for Mike Gundy, who's now 50, to throw a wrench in the whole thing. It'd be beautiful. Tech doesn't need UT Austin. Do it like Cawthon and blaze another trail. Allen knows his history. Allen knows his Texas Tech history. And Pete Cawthon, for trying to do that, ended up getting crossways and run out of town and angry and mad and left after 1939 after a brilliant 10-year career at Texas Tech. Because he didn't suck up to UT. But that was a different time. The Tech folks were in the 30s trying to get into the Southwest Conference like they did in the 40s, like they did for most of the 50s. You sold out the Jones multiple times without OU or UT coming. Yes, you did. Joey needs to get some O linemen in here. If not, he'll need to carry 5 quarterbacks. I don't even think it has anything to do with the O linemen. I think you need to carry 5 quarterbacks. There'll be bowl games for teams that have won less than 8 games, consolation prize. Yes, I said it. No, I'll say this, Doughboy. Every bowl game that exists that is not a part of the playoff is a consolation prize that needs to go away. No bowl game matters. No bowl game matters. None. Not a single one. You're either in the playoff or you're out. Not a bowl game matters, which is why I said earlier this week, Taj Brooks, please don't play in the bowl game. It doesn't matter. You've given your heart and soul to Tech. You've done all you need to do. Get ready for the NFL. Joe, go OSU. Never said that before and probably never will again. I assume that means Oklahoma State. Is Tech trying to get out of the Oregon matchup for next year? Looks like it. Looks like they're probably trying to get out of that thing and change up some non-conference road games and whatnot. There's a story out that the Pac-12 is trying to get Tech maybe matched up with Oklahoma State to help them out. I really don't give a damn if they ever play Oregon again. You know, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Every game going forward that Texas Tech plays should be at Texas Tech's advantage, Texas Tech's leisure, whatever. So don't care. The main thing is they're trying to do it when you're in the light year of Big 12 games going forward, that you're maintaining 7 home games, I think is what they're trying to do. So, yeah. Okie State, Okla State, Okra State. What is the Okra State? Is there a state in the Union that's the Okra State? What would the Okra State be? I like okra, fried okra. Yeah, that's good. Is there going to be a Pac-12 next year? Yeah. It's 2 teams. The Okra State. What would the Okra State be? They want 7 home games, so they are rearranging the schedule to accommodate. Yes, they are. As reported by one Don Williams in the Avalanche Journal, schedule like Bill Snyder at Kansas State seemed to work. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to do it that way, but going forward, play as many home games as possible. Not against Tarleton State, not against ACU, not against people like that. But, bring in, pay good money because you sell 60,000 tickets and you can pay good money. And get somebody to come in and take their beat and take their whooping, like New Mexico State at Auburn. Get them in, do like Auburn did, and bring in New Mexico State and give them their whooping. Oh, wait a minute. You gave them 1.3, 1.7 million, and they gave you a whooping. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, anyhow. So we asked the question today, Bandwagon Wednesday, what bandwagons are you on, what bandwagons are you off? Transfer portal, good luck, Miles Price. If I ask 10 people that identify, hey, are you a Texas Tech football fan? You know, are you a Texas Tech football fan? Yeah, I'm a big Texas Tech fan. You love the Red Raiders? Yeah, I love the Red. Tell me about Matt Keeler. There you go. That's the transfer portal. 7 home games, 3 remind you of the old Leach days. Now, that was play as many crappy teams as you could. Not just home games. But as many crappy teams. But I agreed with it at the time because there was no upside of playing tough teams. There was no upside during the 2000s, the way the BCS worked and functioned at the time, that if you were Texas Tech, you had to run the Big 12 to get in. You had to be undefeated, and it would not matter who you played in non-conference. So play a bunch of crappy teams. There was no reason to get better and test yourself and all that. Now, that wasn't Spike's theory, by the way. For those who try to glorify that, that wasn't some sort of Spike Dykes machismo of we're going to put Texas Tech up against the best and then go to the Southwest Conference in the Big 12. No, he had to do that. They told him to do that. Tech was the one receiving the check. Tech was the one with their handout. Tech was the poor poverty program in the 80s and up until the Big 12 days in the 90s that had to go play at Florida State, that had to go play at Penn State, that had to go play at Georgia. They were the ones who had to do that. They had to go play at Tennessee. You didn't see Tennessee come here. You didn't see Florida State come here. Miami came here. Now, why did Miami come here? Miami came here because back in the day, Miami sold 0 tickets for the most part. Even back in the days of the U and the 80s and stuff, they were still only getting 30,000 people at the Orange Bowl. There's a lot of revisionist history that goes on. A lot of people don't even know it. But Tech was the team that had their hand out back in the day. That's why Spike had to play about 12 games the plus side on what we would call replacement in baseball. He was plus 12 to what Mike had to play in the same time frame. Went to the Miami game in Miami, or the Miami game in Lubbock. Off the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197, where you can go to United Supermarkets and you can find all sorts of wonderful ad specials every day. $19.90. Yeah, $19.90. Can't agree more, says the texter, about trying to schedule the University of People's Republic in Austin in the future. 5-4 conference records in consecutive years, an improvement. Jeff in Houston. There you go. He can't agree more. Houston will hire a trailer if they can get him. After that, not really sure. Lubbock is Brewy. I was like 43-10 or 40-10 or something back when 40 was a whole lot of points, men against boys. I've told the story. It was back when they'd allow the media to wander the sidelines freely, and I'm down there in the south end zone, literally 5 feet away from the huddle. Tech's snapping the ball on their 1-yard line. And Robert Hall brings him to the line of scrimmage, and I'm looking over his shoulder going, this is not going to work out good. Not going to work out good at all. And it did not. Yeah, Houston will probably hire a trailer if they can get him. He's definitely interviewed, it sure looks like, and probably the best they're going to get right now. Snap the ball, Russell, Maryland in the backfield in 2 seconds. Loudest cheer was Miami cheerleaders went and did a cheer for the north end when they let the kids sit in the grass. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that's about where the visitor cheerleaders would be. Yeah, there you go. I guess Trailer was holding out for UH instead of taking the Tech job. I think he probably overplayed his hand a little bit, maybe in thinking what he might or might not get. The Houston job has been a springboard for different coaches at different times. Obviously, go back and look at Sumlin, Bryles, and people like that. Is it the same job now? No, it's not, because you got to win in the Big 12. You don't have to win in the AAC. And that's what's totally different. It's not a springboard job anymore. It's a destination job, and it's a tough job. But they have a great recruiting base. Do they? How long is Houston in Houston? How's that worked out? Well, they got a lot of money now. Well, do they? Do they really have that much more money than anybody else? Well, they got all sorts of inherent advantages, and it's going to be different now. Is it really going to be different now? If our OC changes, do you see Dana interviewing? No, I do not. I don't see. I don't see him getting an interview by Joe McGuire because he doesn't run complementary football offense. Mark Stoops is available. That's the rumor. I know Don and his Q&A column over the weekend, Don Williams, Avalanche Journal, great guy. I should do a radio show with him sometime. We should look into that. It might be good. He was kind of tamping down, or at least I'm not trying to speak for Don, but I think he was of the position that he didn't think there would be a change at OC. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. And by that, I mean not my position, what I think Tech might do. That if Joey McGuire thinks that there is somebody better out there that is more simpatico and can do a better job with what he's got and that he agrees with more, then he'll make the move. If that coach doesn't exist, he won't do it. It's easy to forget that, Kitley was not the first choice on the OC. That doesn't mean he's not first choice now. I say that. When would you make the change? You'd make it after signing day either way. More concerned about losing Perry, backs, and special teams. Yeah, you might not. When it comes to position coaches and things of that sort, you better go out and find another one. You can't really worry about that. I hate to sound crass or condescending, but you really can't worry about that. Will Tech go away from air raid to more balanced offense? Tech already has gone away from air raid. Tech hasn't run air raid since 2009, and nobody does anymore. There is no air raid. Michael Dalby is watching. Yo, I'm watching you, Michael Dalby. Yeah, go put up a sign. Put it in front of your yard. Michael Dalby is watching. Yeah, nobody runs air raid, Donald. Nobody runs air raid. Even Mike Leach in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years of his coaching career did not run what you thought was the air raid. The air raid is dead. Long live the air raid. It doesn't exist. Nobody does it. And the sooner Texas Tech people in particular get over the idea that there's something out there called the air raid, it'll be better. Need to get rid of the tempo stuff. Blew up in the face every time they did it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of tempo. Let me rephrase that. Tempo for the sake of tempo. All right. Now, tempo, where we've fallen in love with tempo is where we've fallen in love with personnel packages. And in the NFL, you have these different packages. But remember, an NFL team suits up about 48 guys a weekend. You got about 800 guys on a college deal. So you got these multiple personnel packages that it's hard enough for you to get your guys out there, that you're trying to confuse the defense to get their guys out there. And when you get them trapped in a bad personnel package, you try to go. I think it screws you up more than it screws them up most of the time. You can play fast. You can play quickly without having to go tempo. You can play crisply. What's the old John Wooden line? Go fast, but don't hurry, or something like that. You can do that without having to go crazy tempo. Now, when we at the college level get wireless headsets in our helmets, so we don't have to signal in plays and all that crap like the NFL, then we can do a few things. John says tempo, and he says it just like this. Tempo makes no sense to me, since the other team will switch when you do. It should be fast-paced with the players you have on the field. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. Hi there, Sanford. The cloud defense of Matt Campbell killed the air raid. Well, a lot of things killed the air raid. You know what killed the air raid? The air raid. What killed the air raid was by about 2010, 2012, the recruiting cycles had fluctuated through? That sounds crazy. Where you had flipped away from all of these inside middle linebackers and linebackers and linebackers and linebackers to DBs, DBs, and DBs. That Mike was brilliant in the 90s and the early 2000s, that he realized roster-wise, I could put more fast guys out there on the field than you could. You couldn't match up athlete for athlete. That he could find a mismatch. And a lot of people thought it was spatially. And part of that was, it was route tree, it was whatever. But really what it was he was eventually going to find a Wes Welker who could outrun your fat linebacker that you couldn't get off the field because you didn't have anybody else. And from the whole decade of the 90s, he was doing it coming up through Valdosta, Northern Iowa Wesleyan, and then going to Kentucky, and then going to Oklahoma. That was certainly the case. Through the 2000s, we moved away from I-formation football. We transitioned away from a 4-man, 5-man front, even though you can still build an odd-man front. And we had roster turnover, and we reshaped the way the defense is structured. So by about 2012, 2014, that advantage was gone. Now it becomes a tactical or a physical. You better have a great, great player to make it work. That was harder and harder to do. Remember, the whole thing was, oh, you can win with this with just, a bunch of gritty 2 stars and 3 stars. Well, then you couldn't do it. You had to have 4 and 5 stars, no matter what. Move with urgency, but don't hurry. Kitley hampered by Barron's injuries and Jake Strong not being ready. Well, yeah, obviously. So we get to where we are today, and now we've got a bunch of rosters, and this is why I think you're seeing a little. The RPO was a transition from the zone read, which was a transition to my God, you can come back and run power I, and they don't have enough linebackers to get you now. Now I can hurt you on the edge with a really good creative run game. Well, no, that's not good. I can't use that. Texas Tech did a great job in blocking scheme, and I want to give Hamby credit. I want to give Kitley credit and McGuire and whatever. They did a really good job taking on and taking out 7 and 9 techniques on the defensive front with movement and angle blocking, crashing, kicking out G blocks, what we used to call kind of an old counter tray, not a pure Packer scheme, not at all. And I thought, and this is why I will argue with people who say the offensive line was bad. No, they're bad at pass block sometimes. But the run block concepts, I thought, were really good at attacking the edge, which is where now teams have gotten light against the run. That I've got to put a guy out there who's agile, fast, and I got to rush the passer, right? I got to get back in the backfield. I got to have a guy who can drop into coverage. I got to do, all right. Can he sit there and take on an offensive lineman coming out on a kick out or a seal block? No. Sorry, I went coaching school on you. The wing tee would work absolutely in college football. Didn't mean to go coaching school on you. Texter on the United Supermarkets text line. Kitley's got to go, but McGuire don't have it in him to get rid of him. And DeRuyter needs to be in the field, in my opinion. In the field. I don't know what that means. No idea what that means. Why do they helmet headsets for college? Same texter. Money. And why does DeRuyter need to be in the field? That seems incredibly dangerous for him to be in the field. I'm going to advocate against Tim DeRuyter being in the field. He should not be in the field. Another aspect of this program being better off is the fact Tech's getting more of these West Texas recruits. I agree. Win West Texas first every single time. Well, it's talked about it. McGuire's doing it. He needs to be on the field. That's even worse. You can't play him. What are you doing on the United Supermarkets text line? Tech's defense played great this year. Tech's defense played good this year. Tech's defense played pretty good this year at times. And there were a couple of times it played really good. So I would say, yeah, it played good. We're seeing an overall drop down in scoring across football, which dovetails into what Texas Tech did. There were still far too many times where they could not get off the field in a timely fashion. Texter on the United Supermarkets text line says, you say expensive, but these schools have money. Yeah, Doughboy, they do, but they don't want to spend it on that. Oh, now the texter says they want DeRuyter on the sideline. No, I want my defensive coordinator, my offensive coordinator, both high, eye in the sky. I want to be able to see what they're seeing. Absolutely where I want them. In fact, I want Kitley up in the box. He's never been up there. That's why he's not comfortable being up there. He better get comfortable being up there, in my opinion. We about LSU and bring in air-conditioned helmets. That'd be nice. Bring back the fullback, Jason Coffey. Jason Coffey. I don't remember that flame out. Help me out on that one. Tech's defense was also put into bad field position by the offense. Damn right it was. They should have sued for non-support. 100%. Logo placement. Not bad, huh? Should have sued for non-support. So here we are on a night hanging out in the Arctic Air studios where we ask you, is Texas Tech football better today than it was 2 years ago? I think by any metric it is. You can look at the record. The record's better. You can look at what they've done in Big 12 play. It's better. You can look at recruiting. It's better. We're going green, white checker in a hard way. You know? Mm-hmm. Doughboy still wants them to be more fired up on the sideline. Have a defensive coordinator. If my defensive coordinator has to fire my defense up, we have failed completely in getting the right players in my uniform. If I've got to fire you up, if I've got to get you motivated to play, I have failed 100%. Running back top recruit, Royds, Flame. I don't remember him at all. Tech? I don't remember that at all. So, yeah. The biggest improvement statistically, record-wise, is not the overall 6-6, 8-5. It's still better than 7-6, 4-6 over the previous two. But the Big 12 record, that tells me all I need to know, that you're winning Big 12 games. Winning in November is big, but just winning Big 12 games, that tells me what I need to know regarding where this program is the last 2 years. And that's without appreciably time to really elevate the talent and the depth in the program. Certainly last year, you hadn't had time to do that. So this year was the first year you begin to see an impact on it. Next year's really, and I know a lot of people are saying, hey, next year is a really big litmus test year. Absolutely it is. That next year is the year you need to see a lot of this come into play. The one thing, though, that I must caution you is that this is not a static zero-sum game. That while Texas Tech is improving depth, while Texas Tech is bringing people into the transfer portal and filling in holes, and everybody else is too. Everybody else has that same ability now to do what you're doing, which to me puts a premium, again, even more so maybe than ever before. And that's an incredible thing to say, than ever before, on high school recruiting. You can change anything you want. You can do anything you want on the portal. It's still going to be high school recruiting. That if you get that right, if your base is always good, if your class of 25 has 12 base every year that are really good, then you're not going to have to worry about the other stuff that much. Donald says you can change ADs and you can change coaches like Tech has done. We just have to give McGuire a chance to build a program. Tech changed ADs in, 2 and 25 years. I think lots of people are clouded by the UT game. Newsflash, Tech has been boat raced many times in Austin. It hasn't. Turnover on offensive line is concerning. Why? I mean, with this line in particular, if you're talking about Keeler or what, hey, they went short stopgap because they had to on some offensive linemen in the portal. Don't do it. Give me high school offensive linemen, grow them. You're gonna have to do it. That's where you're gonna have to find them. They're always going to be better. 100%. They're always going to be better. Get the really good high school offensive linemen. All right. And yeah, offensive line, defensive line, 100% where it begins and ends. But the commitment must be to sign 7 offensive linemen, 6 defensive linemen, every class. Hold on, that's 13. That's half your class. Yeah, that's half your class. But you got to do it. I would sign 6 offensive linemen, 5 defensive linemen. And yes, develop high schoolers. 100%. All right. Last chance on United Supermarkets text line. We need to start relying on analytics to make decisions. I agree. Doughboy, I'll be in town next weekend on the 9th to get you the new Guns Up trucking lid and sticker for the wall. We're going to a little sticker up there that we're going to put up sometimes. Like that. Nothing to do with anything, but don't you hate it when you know your dog has taken a, you know what, somewhere in your house and you can't find it, it says Jeff in Houston. No, I have a teenager, so I just assume that smell is coming from my teenager's room. When I have that smell, you know. All right, we got to say goodbye to the wonderful people on X and on YouTube. It says in the stream. Yes, we got in the stream. Really in the stream.